We're here in Altoona, Iowa with Todd Downing, Ice Performance Training Center. Todd, why don't you tell us a little bit about how this center came about, how long you've been here?
Well, we started in May of 2011. A friend of mine, we had both grown up wrestling, being involved in wrestling. We had a friend of ours, BJ Iseminger, who had passed away, who was also a big wrestler, for Southeast Polk, an alumni for Southeast Polk. And when he passed away, it was one of those things like we had been involved in wrestling, and now there was this complete heavy moment there where we felt like we should do something in tribute and to remember him and not allow him to be forgotten. So we came up with the name Ice Performance Training Center. Decided we're just going to start off with just straight wrestling. With my background in fitness and my background in wrestling, the two kind of just married together. But the name came up with our friend BJ Iseminger. His nickname in the military and for the fire department was ICEman. And so we just obviously condensed it. And the fact that we do so many things here, the title Performance Training Center just kind of followed. But May 2011 we started. We just moved to this location in Altoona a year and a half ago. Things have been going really well. Added 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. Of course, our fitness program's going strong for adults. We have a unique warrior strength program for the youth. And then, of course, the wrestling takes care of itself.
So you mentioned youth. What kind of age levels do you have? Do you go up through adults, or is it just strictly the youth that you work with?
Well, good question. I mean, we start at 4 years old. That seems to be probably the earliest we allow a kid to come in, and then our tiny tots, what we call them. And so we take a kid from 4 years old and slowly just get them acclimated to the sport, understanding the sport. They move up through the ranks to our tots program, to our youth program. Once they get to that 7, 8 year old mark, we do have a strength program that they can be involved in as well. But that 4 to 7 year old is just straight wrestling, just getting them in here and kind of being an energy release. As a parent myself, it's and you well know that it's a great thing for them to be able to come in and just kind of let out some aggression. But 4 year olds all the way through adults. I've constantly said the 4 year old to 60. Really, I mean, is a great range for us. We have some very motivated, 45, 50, 52 year old individuals that come in here and train hard. Some former wrestlers, some former athletes, of another sport. So yeah.
So wrestling, jiu-jitsu, just some athletic training. What exactly? So you say somebody's not a wrestler, and what can they come into ice and do to get themselves in, I guess, athletic shape?
Sure. Well, we have what we call our FITcamps. We do a unique 30-minute fit camp. The 30-minute fit camp actually evolved from, and we're not the ones that started it. There's boot camps around the United States that kind of hone in on the 30 minutes. The busy adult have things to do, especially after the workday. So we have our 30-minute fit camps that really have become a nucleus for our adult training. Somebody that comes in and wants to, let's say maybe they want to learn how to grapple. They want to learn how to throw kicks and strikes and things like that. We have Muay Thai kickboxing. 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu is more the ground game, but they do work on the wrestling portion of it as well, even for adults.
With this being one of, I would say, the only standalone wrestling facilities, there's lots of wrestling clubs throughout the state of Iowa, but there's very few that have their own standalone facility. Is there plans to, you think, expand this wrestling room in the future, or what's the future hold for Ice Performance?
Well, it's all driven by passion. So the fact that we are passionate about what we do, and we didn't get in this to become rich, and it's not about the dollar sign. Of course, all that helps. It obviously you have to pay bills and such, but that the passion is what drives it. I think the day probably will never come where I'm not passionate to help a young individual maybe get up to where they want to go, or reach their own goals. There definitely are plans in the future for expanding. We get to a point easily where we have to cut off enrollment. In fact, it's happened the last 5 years where we've had to cut off enrollment. I don't like doing that, just because if a kid is eager to train and maybe our style of training fits for them. I would like to welcome them in. And we're not for everybody. I tell that. I mean, that's the great thing about Iowa is there's so many different styles of coaching and different styles of facilities, and they're all good in their own right. So it always helps when people come in and try us out, maybe during a summer program or a preseason program, and some may stay, some may go on and do something different, but we're definitely growing.
What's the average class size right now? A lot of people are, they're seeing clubs that are really small, and there's some clubs that are just massive. And I think what maybe sets you guys apart is this room is you have the ability to see every single kid throughout the whole practice.
Right.
For people that are maybe looking for a new place to train in the Des Moines area, how many kids are in a room in a given practice?
Well, looking back to when I was a coach in Austin, Texas, we had 78 kids in our program, and we had 5 coaches. And so you still break that down. That's not the healthiest of coaching or coach to wrestler ratio. We get 20 kids in here, 20 kids max for the big kids. Sometimes with the little tiny tots, they're so little we can get up to 22, 24. But I love that 12 to 16 wrestler count, just based on the 2 or 3 coaches that are in the room. No, I mean, you said it best. Nobody gets through here without getting many hands-on from a coach. The worst thing you want is to have a rotation, in an hour's time where you're getting to that group of kids maybe once or twice, and there's a lot of stuff left on the table that practice is over, and there's still things you want to cover. So I don't like that. I don't want to be the biggest club. I just want to be high quality. I want to help kids prepare for high school. That's the biggest transition, is having that kid possess a certain set of skills when they get to the high school room. We're not the end-all, be-all, but as a former high school coach myself, the fact that a kid can come in the room and possess a good stand-up, good position, good footwork, good maybe 2 or 3 takedowns and some setups is priceless. And that's what we want to do, is help high school facilities. We're merely a supplement, for sure.
Do you guys let's say I've got a kid, let's say in Johnston, and he wants to find some new wrestling partners, doesn't know what ICE is all about. Do you guys allow him to come in and work out one of the nights? Do you charge for that type of thing, or how do you guys handle that? Trying to get more kids in the room.
Sure. Well, somebody just coming in and trying it out, I rarely ever even mention the drop-in rate. And we do have a drop-in rate, but somebody that's wanting to come in and maybe they've done the research on us or they've heard about us through referrals. They want to come in and wrestle with us for a night. I mean, it's as simple as that. They come in. Hopefully we match up well with them. Sometimes you have those kids that may be young and bigger that we don't quite match up well with, and there are clubs that have a surplus of kids their size. So it's kind of a no-brainer sometimes. If you're 4th grade, 120-pound kid, we may not be the facility for them, but anybody that's interested, we have an open door.
What's the easiest way to get involved with ICE? Go to the website or just come to your facility here in Altoona?
Well, we're located at 301 9th Street Northeast in Altoona. So we're out by the Holiday Inn and Casey's. The website, of course, iceperformancetraining.com. It's always a great way to reach us. You can follow us on Facebook, Ice Performance Training Center. At Ice Performance is, I believe, our Twitter handle as well. So definitely, you reach out by phone as well, and you can get that information on the website.
Sounds good.